maybe not exactly when the schedule came out that you went, you know what, Texans, Ravens, two playoff teams, going to be a great atmosphere, which it still will be at the bank. But Lamar Jackson, more than likely, is not going to be out there. The Texans are trying to find their footing, but they got their first victory. The Ravens, I don't know who exactly besides Lamar is going to be playing on the defensive side. So, from your perspective right now, I mean, what is something that you're kind of looking towards with this game? Because this isn't what people thought going into week 5.
No. Part of, I think, what made the Ravens so unique in how they approach their offense since Lamar Jackson took over is they had backup quarterbacks that were primarily running QBs and could at least mirror what the intention was of their offensive philosophy. And this year, they made a clear decision not to go in that direction. That's not a knock on Cooper Rush at all. Cooper did a nice job in Dallas when called upon, but he is not going to be mistaken for a dual threat. So if indeed he is the starting QB, which we presume he will be, it's going to look different. It's going to have to be different. And with that, it brings a sense of mystery. The assumption would be they're going to lean a bit more on the run game, and Derrick Henry the last couple of weeks have been odd. It just has not been what we've grown accustomed to. Forget about Baltimore, Derrick Henry. I'm talking about Derrick Henry in general. Mm-hmm. The fumbles from a couple of weeks ago and then such little usage last week. We'll see how Baltimore approaches this thing, even beyond the injuries, which are significant. And let's face it, this is something that happens in the NFL. The Ravens, for the most part, have avoided the rash of injuries under Harbaugh that we're seeing this year. But when healthy, they were not playing at a level that we've grown accustomed to. Defensively, there have been concerns stopping the run. They've been gashed so far early in the season. They've played a killer schedule. But what was the perception, Ryan, prior to the season? First 4 weeks would be all about, this will affect seeding for Baltimore because these will be tiebreakers down the road. Now, 4 weeks in, forget about that. The story is more, hey, can we get this team to January and be a part of this? Because if you do, you know they're really dangerous and they could beat anybody. But you got to get there first. Concerns, Houston's in an equally desperate situation. They got a win finally last week. Their losses have been very close. They've played a tougher schedule as well. Defensively, they have been outstanding. And maybe there's a bit of a shift to their identity under DeMeco Ryans. CJ Stroud in year 3, it's been harder. It's been tougher to get this offense going. But you're playing a team that also went to the divisional round last year. These are two teams that had serious hopes coming into the season. So you're right. It'll be a great scene. Ravens fans always show up. It's still one of the best atmospheres in the NFL. I love doing games there. The broadcast booth itself is set up in a way where you just have a great view, great sight lines. You're in it. The fans are literally in front of you. Many years ago, when they started doing instant replay in the booth, one of the years, fans right in front of me thought I was the replay guy. So anytime there was a controversial call, they would turn to me, and I'm looking at them like, dude, it's not me. And then finally, by the end, I was just giving them a thumbs up or thumbs down, and they were pointing to me. Or they thought I was Daniel Snyder. I don't know what they thought, but I believe they thought I was the replay official.
So you have a man of many roles is what I'm hearing right now.
A chameleon, if you will.
Exactly. Before I get you out of here, I think, Brad, you had a follow-up real quick.
Yeah, so you had mentioned, by the way, thanks for coming on the show. I got it, Brad. So I was just listening to you talk about the quarterback situation and that, like, this is going to be unique. And then I got to thinking about, well, anytime Lamar's been out, the replacement has been somewhat Lamar-like in that they're dual threat quarterbacks, whether it was RG3 or Snoop or whoever. Now you have basically a drop back quarterback, and this will be an interesting way to look at the Ravens because offensively since 2018, it's always been about this dual threat.
Agreed. And I love that angle for our game because more often than not in the NFL, you have a feel or a sense of what a team is going to do. Take Cleveland this week. Yes, when you have a new quarterback, there's always going to be a sense of surprise and mystery because you just don't know how they'll handle it. Cooper's been around long enough, and they clearly signed him with the idea that they felt he could be an asset to them. And anyone you talk to will tell you he's really smart, great processor, has leadership abilities, might be a coach one day. I mean, that's a very good possibility. All of that is irrelevant when you need to win in the worst way, and you need guys to feel like there's a trust level and they can rally around who is playing the position. But, Baltimore, when you think of them, you just think of Lamar Jackson and you think of his dynamic abilities and you take him out of the mix. Obviously, the team's going to have to approach it differently. Even when they had quarterbacks that you just mentioned, it was never going to be Lamar. You can't simulate it. You can't assume that your offense is going to run in the same manner. But it does, for me, make it one of those games that you have no idea, if indeed it goes this way, what's going to unfold here.
And I guess that's the beauty of it. You got to go and play and see what transpires here. And I know people in Baltimore, they hope that this can be stopping the bleeding, that they get a victory. They got the Rams coming to town after that. Who knows what happens, but you get to the bye and feel like there's still some life, and not that you feel like you got to go into not a full panic isn't the right word, but the urgency and the room for error diminishes